Oh, wait. Hi, I guess we're live. So I was waiting for you to say, what's up, SVS?
Hey, what's up, SVSers? We are here at IQ Home Entertainment in beautiful Fairfax, Virginia. And I guess the traffic's brutal here because we're getting a little late start. So thank you for your patience.
So welcome, everybody. You know, that's Nick behind the camera. I'm Larry, as you guys know. If not, welcome to first-time viewers. And we're going to do a quick tour of this store. And this is one of our largest partners that we have. And so we're really excited to be out here. We haven't been out here in a few years. And phenomenal retailer, and I think one of the most exciting things for us is this is one of the few places you can go and see that they have not only amazing product, a really great sales staff, but they've also got everything in stock. And look at this wall over here. I don't see anywhere where you can go in. You can see PB17 Ultra Revolution, 17 Ultra Revolutions, new Evolution Pinnacles, the Titans, the Towers. They've got them all. They do crazy gear here from receivers, projectors, tons of custom audio and everything too. And it's just a fun store to come in and visit if you're in the DC, Virginia area. So I think we'll do a tour. And we got started a little late tonight because getting to this part of town is not easy thanks to traffic and being a heavy residential area. As we're getting from the peanut gallery here too. It wasn't fun getting here, right? Yes. So they've got a bunch of listening rooms set up. So we'll go back over here. And this is conventionally, let me know if anybody's behind me.
You're good.
Normally this is a multi-channel home theater. We're kind of taking it over. That's their sales office. But Sean, if you guys want to say hi. Hey there. How long have you been?
You'll see Sean's friendly face if you make it down to Fairfax.
15 years. 15 years. He runs the show. Don't let anybody tell you anything otherwise. So, but it's been a great help, him and his team. Helping us out here. And what we've got in here is the Ultra Evolution Pinnacle Towers. And Ken will be in here running this room, doing a 2-channel demo. And I'm going to do this just because this was cool. Brand new, I don't remember the model number, Marantz something, model 10. The new integrated 2-channel. Watch this. And all of us guys,
so excited about this.
We like lights and stuff. So this thing has all these cool lights inside. And watch this thing as it boots up. You get this cool glow. Look at that. Isn't that awesome? That was the first thing they showed me when I got here. They're like, hey, have you seen the new Marantz? So now I have. And you all have too. So we're going to be powering the system in here with that. And now we're going to go back out this way. Do this. If anybody's not supposed to be here, cover your face.
That's right. If you have a warrant or something.
Broadcast. So you make your way through here, and they sell a lot of product, a lot of goods, and have once again more listening rooms. So they're doing some blowouts on some other product. And here, this is their premium listening room. With our product conventionally sits in this room. There's Bowers, Focal, Klipsch, Kef, all these legacy brands that you all know. Mark Levinson equipment, Marantz, Macintosh, some of the new classic Yamaha stuff too. So a lot of fun here. They're willing to demo and showcase everything.
Is that Bose? Oh, no, just kidding.
You didn't hear that. So, but a fantastic store to just kind of come in and hang out. You guys can probably tell from all these broadcasts, I enjoy going into the retail shops. And when you can go in and get a cool demo from a staff that knows what they're talking to you about, you're going to have some fun with it. Everybody's hanging out over there.
Can we show the, oh, yeah. So here's the big system.
Yeah, now that
we'll walk through this.
Because everybody's over there bugging Gary right now. So back here, we're going to do a 5.2.2 off of a Marantz Cinema 50. We're using the Evolution Towers, Evolution Center, 2 Ultra Elevations, and Ultra Evolution Nano bookshelves for surrounds. And then anchoring it all, we're doing 2 SB-17 Ultra Revolution subs. And I believe this is our first theater with 2 sealed. We've done an event.
Yeah, we did the 2 ported at the ACT showroom in Chicago, which thanks to everyone who came out to that one.
So yeah, we're excited to be hanging out back here, and we'll show you. We'll poke in here. This is kind of their
mid-fi.
Yeah, this is where they get rid of a lot of their closeout stuff, but showcase kind of their mid-fi products. This is where all the receivers, tables. And
this is a very audio-focused store. I mean, you don't see like a lot of the retailers where they have just the walls and walls of flat panel TVs. They certainly sell TVs. It's a big part of their business, but they've really done a good job of outfitting their showroom with different listening experiences.
Lots of custom, and you'll know they're a big online retail partner as well. So we'll make our way over here to the last room.
Give Larry Gary the 2-minute, 5-minute warning. 5-minute warning.
Okay, hey, how are you? Hi. I'm getting.
Use those cards. And this is the final of our demos. So I hope you were not telling anybody you weren't supposed to be here tonight. So that didn't come out right, but whatever. So in here, this will be another 2-channel demo Nick will be running. And this is the Ultra Evolution bookshelves being powered by a SoundPath Pro amplifier with a micro or 3000 micro subwoofer as well. So Nick's going to be in here doing some streaming and demos, and he promised me he's going to do nothing but Christmas music.
All Pentatonics Christmas,
Yes.
all night.
So you can hear the Snoopy and Charlie Brown Christmas as well.
Although I would put on Tubular Bells earlier, thinking that was like a Christmas song. Now Larry corrected me. He's like, that is the Exorcism theme song, which is probably about the furthest thing you can get from
I'm going to
Christmas.
start collecting everything.
I gotta show him this wall though. Like, this is the biggest wall of SVS products, and when Larry said, like, they keep a lot of product on display, like, here you go. You can get in here, and they pretty much show you exactly what you can go home with there. At one point, they had this all built into like a football stadium, which is kind of cool. Around the Super Bowl time frame. So, yeah, fun times. Of course, they had to bring out some festive decorations too. We are near the holidays, and thought about demoing Die Hard, or Violent Night. Violent Night, if you haven't seen it, has some great demo scenes. So that might be something you want to check out too. Make our way over here. And we do have, just a little housekeeping. We do have 2 giveaways tonight. A pair of Prime Bookshelf speakers, as well as an SB-1000 Pro. We're going to do both of those giveaway announcements at the very end of the live stream. So once we're wrapping up here around, I would say 7:10 or so, we'll announce both winners, and then our man Vince, working behind the scenes, will reach out, get your contact information. We'll be able to ship those out here in the next couple of days here.
Feel free to get a little closer to Mike. All right. We're going to get everybody over here. We're letting everybody get here because traffic is bad. We don't live here, so we don't know what you all have to experience. But so I'm going to pass things over. Do you want to introduce Dave?
Sure. Yeah, we have, I think a lot of people here probably know Dave Glassman, but for our online community, this is the owner of IQ Entertainment, who was gracious enough to host us this evening. And Dave, would like to say a few words?
Yeah, thank you all for coming out. It's really all I wanted to say. This is a tough time of year to get out of the house, so thank you for coming out. We've got our friend Gary here, who's going to go through the new launches and the new products and give us a good show.
Thank you, Dave. Let's give these guys a hand. First of all, we all know each other now. I've been talking. What's going on here?
Who's miking you up, bro?
Miking me up here. We all know each other, so let's come closer, and because I really want everyone to get a great demo. I do want to first thank the folks from IQ Home Entertainment. These are people I don't know if you guys know this. Some of you seem to know it. I live in this area. Although this is Virginia, I live in Maryland, so I guess I'm the enemy. Although a lot of these guys live in Maryland, guys in Worcester. I am so happy. I feel like I've come home coming to IQ Home Entertainment. They've made us feel so welcome. Let's give these guys a hand. I really appreciate being here. Okay, I'm Gary Yakubian. I'm president of SVS. That's one of my partners in crime, our national training director, Larry Magoo, our VP of marketing, Nick Brown, and then somewhere hiding, he always hides in the back, our senior director of, what are you? I don't even remember
Director of U.S. Sales. We all get promotions every time Gary adds a new title.
Yeah, but not a pay raise.
No pay raise, that's right.
So I'm so happy to see everybody here. I do feel like I've come home. I know many of you, not all of you, many of you, and I look forward to getting to know more of you tonight. Tonight is about the joys of great sound, really having great sound in your living space. That's what SVS stands for. What we believe in is that great sound with the content that you love, whether it's music, movies. Nick will talk about that a little bit. Nick has a riff about modern audiophile, which I completely agree with. But really, this is a celebration of great sound, not so much about, I'll talk about SVS because I'm a little biased, and these products you're going to hear are my children, but really what it's about is having great sound in your life, in your living space. And in order to do that, I think a demo is worth 1,000 words, or at least 1,000 of my words. Oh, I'm hitting the microphone. Sorry for anyone on the live stream.
Listening to headphones.
I just cracked some people's phone microphones, phone speakers. Larry, you want to kick this off with a demo?
Sure.
So I would encourage, unless you're just really shy, try to get in this space as much as possible. I want everyone to enjoy this demo. So I'm going to get out of the way. Yeah. Come forward a little bit.
And if you've been to our shows, you may recognize this, but the best way to describe what you're going to see now is if you could see what sound looks like. It's a really fun demo by a fun artist named Nigel Stanford. So we're going to introduce you all to the full 9-channel surround system here. A little bit loud.
The film you're about to see has no characters. If you spare a little of your imagination, the effect of cybernetic frequencies on matter. Everything owes existence solely and completely to sound.
fun? This is a big store, big room. So if you liked what you heard in this large retail space, I promise it's better when you set it up in your own living space. And that's kind of the theme of tonight is the joys of great sound are if you have a place in your living space where you can go and after a hard day of whatever you do during the day, you can go at the end of the day and allow yourself to surrender yourself to what's going on, what you're hearing, seeing in this case, but maybe it's a two-channel system and you're only hearing. You can literally surrender yourself and experience what the artist intended you to experience. That to me is the joy of either home theater or two-channel audio. And we're going to talk about that tonight and how to make that a possibility in your life and also answer your questions. And we have two massive, for us anyway, product launches, our all new Ultra Evolution speakers, which we launched earlier this year, which we'll talk about a little bit, and our literally 6 weeks ago launched. So you guys are among the first people in the world to see these, our 17 Ultra Evolution subwoofers, two of which just filled this room with hopefully effortless, believable, convincing bass, right? Okay, but before that, let's talk a little bit about just a little bit of housekeeping about the event. This part of the event, probably from now until about 10 after 8 or thereabouts, right, Larry?
7.
Excuse me, I'm sorry. Thank you for that. 10 after 7 or thereabouts, we'll have a formal presentation. We'll talk about home theater. We'll talk about two-channel. We'll talk about Ultra Evolution speakers and 17 Ultra Evolution subwoofers. And then we'll break off into what we call experience zones. And there's two-channel experience zones. One is a higher end one featuring our Ultra Evolution Pinnacle Towers. And who's running that? Is Ken doing that one?
Yeah.
So Ken will do that. And then the other one is featuring our Ultra Evolution Bookshelf speakers and and 3000 micro subwoofer working with our Prime Wireless Pro, who I've been people asking me about tonight. Prime Wireless Pro wireless integrated amplifier, smart integrated amplifier. And so that's kind of a more affordable two-channel system. And are you running that, Nick? So Nick is going to run that. Larry, you're going to continue to do demos in here, and since there'll be fewer people, you'll be able to get the full-on home theater demo. And so those three are all working. I'll get to goof off a little bit and just answer your questions, so I'll probably go elsewhere.
Go get sloshed on some
right.
lines.
Yes. Yeah. Well, I got to drive home, so I don't think so. I don't know about getting sloshed. We'll get Larry sloshed. He's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I got a late flight tomorrow. It's cool.
So, and then we'll regroup around 5 of 8, and we'll draw for prizes. What are our prizes? Who wants to say?
We have a pair of Ultra Evolution Bookshelf speakers and a Prime Wireless Pro sound base, like we'll be demoing in my demo room
so
over
the
there.
full system is one prize?
Yep,
so
as
that's
well as
cool.
a pair of our SoundPath Ultra speaker cables to connect it all together.
Okay.
Then we'll have a
You
3000
said it was wireless. Why do we need speaker cables?
We'll explain that too.
Just
put me on the spot here. And then we'll have a 3000 micro subwoofer, and then a pair of our Prime Wireless Pro powered bookshelf speakers. Just add a smartphone, you got a true hi-fi system, and a couple of accessories to give away as well.
So that's fun, right? Yeah. But here's the deal. Let's make a deal right now. If we draw your name and you already left, you don't win. It's only the people who are still here. Is that fair? That's fair. All right. That's it. All right, Larry, I want to talk about, we have various levels. This is always true in our events. There's various levels of expertise here in this space. I think there's some people that are new to it or relatively new to it. Some people who are, I see my friend Brian Recapito from the DC area. They have such a long name, I never get it right. DC. Can you say the name of the group, because I love this group.
DC area audiophiles and home theater enthusiasts. So high-end in there somewhere. We're on Facebook group guys.
Well, it's actually a very wide range of people too that are enthusiastic about either home theater, two-channel, or just great sound. It's a DC group, and I'm thrilled that many. I think I've probably talked to at least 10 or 12 from that group here. So very happy to see you guys. Those are the experts in this space, and then there are people that are a bit more neophyte. So I'm going to start with the basics, but we'll take it to whatever level you want. If we're getting really molecular, I'll probably want to do that with you off, after the formal presentation, so that other people don't glaze over. Even I glaze over sometimes on this stuff. Okay, so
We can.
what we're hearing here is a full-on Dolby Atmos home theater. Larry, help us understand how you put this together. Larry set it up.
Most of you are probably familiar with what's considered a Dolby 5.1 theater. It's what most of us kind of grew up with in the industry. And what that is you'll see now theaters listed as what's called a 5.1 or a 5.2 or 5.2.4. There's all these numbers and things you got to keep track of. And you'll see the first digit is how many speakers you have around you on what's considered your bed level. And in this case, we are running 5 speakers, and that is our front, left, and right.
So front, left, and right should be familiar to you. That's like a stereo system. You got your left speaker, your right speaker, and they create really the essence of what you're hearing. But then we augment it because it's a home theater, and we're creating a cinema experience. But we're also trying to do something that's the typical 2-channel system might be experienced by just one person sitting in a room. We'll talk about that a little bit. But a home theater is usually designed for more than one person, maybe a group of people.
In this case, 100, right? So you have your front, left, and right. That's where most of the action and things happening on your screen occur. Your left and right stereo panning, typically music. And then you'll introduce the center channel, which is the most important speaker in the system. And this is where all your dialogue comes from.
This is our Ultra Evolution center channel.
And you'll see that there are multiple drivers on this. This is what's called a 3-way center channel. And if you have your lows, mids, and highs all in the cabinet, you're able to produce all the lows, mids, and highs, just kind of the easiest way to do it. So everything from Darth Vader to Mariah Carey and everything in between will be intelligible and easier for everyone in the space to hear. You'll see other 2-way center channels called 2-way, which will eliminate this middle driver down here at the bottom. And that typically is for a more narrow listening space, or if you don't have like a wide listening area, it won't have the frequency range either. So we do a 3-way design on both our Prime series and our Ultra series. And then behind you on the left and right.
Let me just bring this together. So if you found the sweet spot right away. My joke is he's been here since 8 this morning. He wanted to be sure to, perfect place for the demo. But for you, we almost don't need a center channel, because if the speakers are doing their job, we feed them a mono signal. What you hear will sound like it's coming direct from the screen. But for you, when there's a character speaking on the screen in a movie or a streaming TV show, you see them talking, you see their lips moving, and no matter where you are in the room, the center channel makes you feel like the sound's coming from the person speaking. So that just makes it more convincing. Okay, Larry.
And you've probably all been in that system where you're having to turn things up and turn things down. And a lot of that comes from having something that isn't as capable up here handling all of that. Then behind you on the stand, they're really hard to see because they're way back in the corners, are our Ultra Evolution Nano bookshelves. And those are our surround speakers. And that's typically where background music occurs, effects, things that kind of create that more surround environment. And you'll hear that typically in big action movies, or if you're listening to a concert or something along those lines. And that's to kind of give you a more lifelike, like you were in that experience. So that is your conventional 5. Then you go to what's the next decimal point is how many subwoofers you have. And in this case, we are running 2. So in this
because
corner
it's a
over
big
here,
room, not because we needed the horsepower, but it is a big room.
and typically in an open environment like this, you might want to look at a ported subwoofer because it would just move a little more air and be more forgiving in this larger space. But I think you all felt that the 2 sealed subs did an amazing job in this space too. And if you want to geek out on sealed versus ported, we'll do that in a little bit as well. But we have 2 subwoofers here, so that is 0.2. And the whole purpose of a subwoofer is to deliver not only that guttural kind of IMAX bass experience for your movies, but also just to kind of fill in and take on where speakers aren't necessarily able to either go, or the content doesn't deliver that low frequency. So that's the impact. That's what you feel.
And I will say, in my opinion, and I think typically when I do events like this with these guys, the people that we're speaking with agree. When you're experiencing a home theater experience like the one you're going to hear now, 3/4 of the emotional impact of that experience comes from what? From the sound. It really, if you want to connect emotionally, it's going to connect you with the sound. I would say a massive, SVS subwoofers all deliver bass below the threshold of audibility, meaning it's such low frequency that you can't even hear it. Why would we want to do that? Because you can feel it. I'm sorry, what were you?
To create a mood in the movie, you know something's going to happen when you feel it.
When you feel it,
You hear it.
I think that's part of the emotional connection that you make. And so it's more convincing, but it also is that it's to me half of that 3/4 of emotional experience that you get in a home theater comes from that feeling of being there that you get, both from the surround sound speakers. He's going to talk about height effect speakers in a second, but from low frequencies that you can feel, because especially with Larry's demos where people are losing their lives and
I try not to
things
do all
are
that.
exploding.
Yeah.
You really need that bass in order to believe what's going on. Okay, Larry.
And so you kind of heard about the conventional 5 and the 2 subs, and it's something that's been introduced to the home probably the last 10 years is really when it's taken off, is what's called object-based surround sound or height effect speakers. And
You've heard of Dolby Atmos. That's what Larry's talking about.
So the first clip we played for you was from what's called DTS-X, which is similar to Dolby Atmos, and it introduces object-based audio or elevated audio. And these speakers are called the Elevation. So when you go to a movie theater now, if you have an AMC movie theater near you, can go and experience Dolby Cinema, which is the best video, best audio, and you'll see a row of speakers up above you. And that object-based audio, the reason it exists is to create a complete bubble around you. If you remember when Dolby 5.1 came about, you'd have sound move from the front of the room to the back of the room or try to go around in a circle, and there's these gaps where you can literally hear it go from one speaker, disappear, and then go to the next. And that's where object-based audio comes in, is they can now fill in that space and literally place something up above you or behind you or further off to the side. And that's where the sound engineers come in. And so it's a much better, more lifelike experience. And if you happen to have like HBO Max and watch the TNT basketball games, those are done in Atmos. If you stream content off Apple and Amazon and Netflix, that's now in Atmos audio. So it's more lifelike. It's more like you are sitting in the environment, and you can get concerts and movies that are done that way now too. And you can do 2 speakers up above you. You can do 4 speakers up above you. You can do 6 speakers up above you and get a more lifelike experience. And that's really where the fun comes into audio, is kind of hearing something that maybe you previously hadn't before. And that's where Dolby Atmos and object-based speakers come into play.
So that was great, Larry. Thanks. I don't know if you guys have any questions. So many people ask me about the new subwoofers, the 17 Ultra Evolution subwoofers, that I think what I'm going to do now is quickly explain what's different about them versus our previous gen of products. And then we'll move into, we will talk about Ultra Evolution speakers as well. But I think several of you before this started wanted to really know. So this is my newest babies. This is our newest flagship subwoofers. We call them 17 Ultra Revolution. I need to sort of explain how we view product launches at SVS. A product launch for us is not a souped up version of the last thing. And I think a lot of times, I don't talk about other brands, especially not in a negative light, but a lot of times the quote unquote product launch is basically a chromed up version of the same thing from before. That is really not how we do it. I was really, really proud of the previous gen of product, our 16 Ultra subwoofers. 17 Ultra Revolution is not a souped up version of our 16 Ultra subwoofers. In fact, it's a completely reimagined, totally new experience with technologies. Without sounding boastful, I'm just proud. I swear I'm not arrogant, just proud. Things that have never been put in a consumer subwoofer before. So I'm just going to talk briefly about a couple of things. First of all, you may know if you follow SVS that we're really proud of the fact that all of our subwoofers use DSP. And in fact, they use 50 megahertz analog devices DSP, which is a level of sophistication in DSP that you would usually only find in a home theater processor. 17 Ultra Revolution introduces a whole new level of DSP computing power. In fact, it's more than 10 times the processing power of the previous generation of subwoofers. And the benefit is it allows us to do all kinds of things that have never been done before in a subwoofer. The amplifier that we use is a massive 2,800 watt continuous power beast. And it's actually 4 amplifiers bridged into 2. Sorry if I'm getting too technical. Let's just call it 2 amplifiers, 2 separate amplifiers. What do you do with 2 amplifiers when you only have 1 driver in the subwoofer? Well, the driver is also a completely new. It's not a 17-inch version of our old 16-inch driver. It's actually a completely new, completely reimagined way of doing a consumer driver. And it has 2 what's called voice coil. The voice coil is the part of the driver that engages the amplifier, the power of it, to the motor of the driver. And what that means is 2 amplifiers, dual mono, 2 voice coils. You've got basically an amplifier driving each voice coil. And this has never been done before in a consumer subwoofer. We use the DSP to optimize the calibration of the subwoofer, to optimize the response curve of the subwoofer, but also to optimize the power supply, because at a certain level of performance, and this is a level of reference performance that really has not been possible in a consumer subwoofer, you're up against what's possible in a normal 15 amp household circuit. One of the things I said to our team is, I don't think someone's going to run a hot tub, a special circuit just for their subwoofer. So we need to make sure that it's not a demand on the household circuit. And this combination of a very sophisticated power supply, very high computing power in our DSP, and this dual mono amplifier design and totally new driver, it creates an experience that it's not by any stretch even close to the most expensive subwoofer on the planet. Brian, you own 2 of them. Does it work? Yeah, and I'm really proud of it. It's really technology that's never been offered in the consumer space before. And you're going to get the chance to hear them maybe with fewer people, with Larry, or in the, is it a 17 Ultra? Oh, it's a micro. Yeah. So Larry will be able to demo it with a smaller group, but now you know what you're hearing and why it basically has the ability to totally take control of the room. And I think I need to stop talking and go to the next demo. Nick and I are going to talk after this demo about the modern audio. Nick will talk about it, the modern audiophile. So Larry, can we do a demo that's based around music as opposed to?
Sure.
Okay.
So what we're going to go now is to a live concert experience, and you'll all recognize. Whoop! There goes the microphone. Sorry, those of you listening there. It's a live experience. Hans Zimmer. You'll know it. If you don't know his name, you'll know the music here in a second.
Early for the mic drop.
There are about. Oh, nice. So we're all about puns and dad jokes. About 130 people on this stage, and you're going to get everything from guitars and drums to brass to violins and cellos and all kinds of stuff. But you've probably never heard this song this particular way. So this is part of the Pirates of the Caribbean, and you'll recognize it immediately. So let me get some volume. And this was recorded for Atmos. do you think of that? So if you like that, it's a 2.5-hour concert. It's on Netflix. It doesn't sound like that on Netflix, but it's fantastic. And he's touring now too. So we can go around.
You said this was 2-channel when that?
No.
No, that was the full multi-channel. You could hear like when the horns came in toward the end. Back behind you, you got the drums and the cellos and violins and stuff kind of come up above as well.
If you're way off to the side and you want to hear the possibilities, after we break off into the experience and come back, and Larry can do these demos for you in a more listening position. But we're going to now talk about audiophiles, right, Nick? Are you with me on this?
Let's do it. I'll give you control there.
All right.
So we're going to need a little audience participation for this one, and I think you guys can help us sort of define what we would consider more a traditional.
What do you think of when you think of audiophile? Are going to be the questions we ask you.
We'll keep these either or, so you don't have to think too hard. Now, this
I
traditional.
don't like thinking very hard.
Yeah, especially this time of night. If you're thinking about a traditional audiophile, is this person generally male or female? Male. Is this person?
Is this male old or young?
Old. Is this person healthy or living check to check? Can be both.
Living check to check because of your audio habits.
That's a fair point there. And is this person generally somebody who likes to enjoy their hobby alone, or are they inviting everyone into the room to touch all the dials and plug in the cables? I think we would agree on the first one.
Yeah.
Well,
So it's a ritual guy sitting between the speakers in the sweet spot, which we just talked about, being resented by everybody else in the household. That's the traditional definition of the audiophile. And we don't like that definition.
no, I mean, and just to say,
Although
there's
Nick
nothing.
says I'm a poster child for it, which I
He is.
really resent that. But
And again, we're not trying to make fun or to denigrate that passion or that hobby at all. But what we're really trying to bring is more of a inclusive, call it socially oriented audiophile. And by that I mean, who here loves to watch movies? Do we have any gamers? Couple gamers. These are all passions, hobbies that I believe can qualify you as an audiophile. I think the definition that has been sort of stereotypically, has risen is no longer accurate, because there is so much great content out there when it comes to video games, when it comes to home theater, movies, streaming TV, that all of these things should qualify you to be an audiophile. And really, what
I think what we say is, the traditional way of being an audiophile is you're defining what great sound isn't. Like, oh, that doesn't count. That's not a vinyl, or that's not high res file.
you didn't spend enough on that to qualify to be an audiophile. Where
We're not about that.
if you're about a pursuit of better sound and creating an experience that just immerses you a little bit deeper into whatever you're passionate about, whatever that content might be, to us, that should qualify you to be an audiophile, and there shouldn't be this judgment passed because of not spending enough, or not having enough channels in your system, or whatever those criteria might be that people sort of hold their nose up at.
And part of once you lay out that sort of foundation of this is what we believe, then you have to create reference experiences that are available to normal people. You make it available to normal people in terms of, I guess emotionally accessible, but also, let's be straight here, financially accessible. We want to make it, a normal person who has a normal way of living to have access to reference sound experiences. That's part of it.
Yeah, and this mentality goes right into our product development. We try to create speakers and subwoofers that are great, whether you are a very staunch 2-channel hi-fi enthusiast, or whether you like watching Spider-Man, which we might get a chance to test out, or Godzilla. Like, you're going to get a great experience either way with our products, because we want to create, again, not a speaker that's like, well, it's only great for 2-channel. And I think there is a bit of that exists within the industry of products that are sort of more catered towards one or the other, and we really want to make something that's great for everyone.
That's a classic thing. Oh yeah, this is a really good home theater speaker, but even good one for music. Or this is a really good music speaker, but they're too boring for home theater. It seems kind of unfortunate that you can't have your cake and eat it too with your system. So we're very much about all kinds of music, home theater, whatever content you want to enjoy. We want the product or our speakers to deliver on your hopes, deliver on what you expected. And that's the goal. Now, I know this is I'm so happy to see this many people. When we break away, you'll be able to get a demo that kind of depicts that better, like a more home-like environment. But first, should I talk about Ultra Evolution speakers a little bit? Because I've been getting so I'll do a quick version because I got kind of in the weeds with the subwoofer, but I'll do a quick version of these because I think it's important to understand what you're going to be hearing. Earlier this year, we launched Ultra Evolution speakers. Now they're winning all kinds of awards. We just won
Stereophile Product of the Year. We've got
that's a good
Future
point.
Audiophile.
We're not hated by the audiophiles. Like we like the audiophiles. We just want to include more people in that category. We don't want to. So Stereophile, which is a very stalwart audiophile magazine,
But Sound and Vision as well, which caters very much to the home theater crowd.
that's right. And that our goal is not to exclude anybody, including the traditional audiophile, of which, by the way, I'm one. And these are the speakers that got something.
Yeah,
We literally.
Yeah, so we've cleaned them off a few times. But yeah, when you have drop ceilings, just be prepared for things to drop.
Yeah, because Larry properly set this system up.
Yeah, we know we're doing it right.
Literally just
Starts
starting
snowing
to
inside.
So
Wait till we play Ninja Turtles.
I'm going to tell you 3 quick technology stories about these speakers. This is our Ultra Evolution series of speakers. I'm really proud of them. As Nick said, they're already winning award after award in the not just audio press. I mean, tech press.
Digital Trends, the editor's choice.
Digital Trends gave us editor's choice. And there's technologies in these speakers that have never been available anywhere near these price ranges. That's probably the way I would put it. I'm going to tell you 3 quick technology stories. First one is you'll notice that the front baffle of the speaker is curved. The furthest away from the listener is the center, and then the top and the bottom baffle curves toward the listener. The reason is that the emanation point of a cone driver is the rearmost part of the cone, whereas the emanation point of a dome driver, which is what this tweeter is the frontmost part. So if you drew a perfect vertical line from all the emanation points of all the drivers, you would actually, or I should say, you would be able to draw a perfect vertical line by curving the front baffle to the listener at the top and the bottom. The benefit is the sound from each driver arrives at the listener's ear at the same time, which creates a coherent soundstage. Finally, because it's geographically centered, the tweeter is centered in the middle, it also creates a focused image. And the benefit, which is hard to hear in a room this size in a home theater environment, but you will hear it when this gets smaller, fewer people, and in the other 2 rooms, the benefit will be a rock solid, what we call soundstage. And soundstage definition of it, the way I would put it is, you can close your eyes and hear where everything is coming from. Where if it's music in a 2-channel situation, each musician or vocalist comes to you from a specific point in space, and that's all part of that convincing experience, that suspension of disbelief that we're trying to accomplish. Second technology story, this is an all-new tweeter. The tweeter is the high-frequency driver. And it's a tweeter that would not have been possible anywhere near this price range even 10 years ago. It's a diamond-coated aluminum dome tweeter. The diamond coating is done via a process called vapor deposition. And essentially what it does is it preserves the lightness and the ability of the aluminum dome to mirror what's going on in the music, but it raises what's called and sorry for getting in the weeds with you guys, the breakup frequency of the tweeter. Basically where the tweeter goes, this is weirding me out, this signal that you're sending me, and I'm going to start moving in a weird way. It raises that frequency way beyond what a human can hear to almost 40,000 hertz. Benefit is that the tweeter is effortless, clear, crisp, but never fatiguing to listen to. That's what you should listen for. Am I hearing all the detail? Is it fulfilling what I was hoping to hear in this content that I'm familiar with? But is it also not fatiguing and kind of annoying to listen to? That's a sweet spot that you look for in a really high performance, high frequency transducer, also known as tweeter. Final story, and then we'll do our final demo. Larry's going to bring it all together and we'll break off into groups. There are 4 dual opposing active woofers, 2 facing forward, 2 facing backward, and with a pair of speakers that makes 8. And the benefit is that the bass is effortless, it is authoritative, but it's never overwhelming or booming. And because it's coming from 8 drivers, each driver is at a slightly different geographic place in the room, which means your enemy with bass is what's called room nodes, meaning this part of the room I'm getting too much bass, this part of the room I'm getting we call suck out, phase cancellation. That gets largely eliminated because you have 8 drivers and they're all delivering sound from a slightly different geographic location in the room. So you should be able to hear with or without a subwoofer, authority, control, and accuracy in the bass. Okay.
You'll definitely get that with the big 2-channel room.
Yeah, and you're gonna get, I mean, there's a lot of you guys, so the demos will improve in a minute when we break up, right? Okay, Larry, you wanna bring it all together with a final demo?
So we're going to bring in one of our favorite Dolby Atmos demos, and this is from Spider-Man Far From Home. And the reason we like this scene is because it utilizes Atmos unbelievably well. So you're going to hear, this is Spider-Man and Mysterio fighting, and Mysterio uses audio video to manipulate what he's on.
It's not good.
You're all going to be very much manipulated on where sound is coming. So we need to cue this up, and we'll get right there. Once again, I still use discs, so I need to fast forward from every player fast forwards at different speeds. So that's Nick Fury. All right, here we are.
Parker? Parker!
What's wrong? He's back. He's here.
What?
Nope.
Wow, Peter. Wow. I thought we were close. Fury always had to die, but not you.
All right. Well, we got 2 giveaways. We're gonna do those now because we're gonna break off the 2-channel. We ran a little
Now you're
long.
making me do this.
Shocking.
Yeah, we never run long.
So, Larry, I think we got him
We
beat
have
up here.
both
Told me.
we move right to the
You told me.
Here's the back hallway.
You're not blocked. We're gonna stand right under the fire exit. You're not blocked. This would be ironic.
So I'm going to block it. So the first one is for a pair of Prime Bookshelf speakers. And this is going to John Paplazik. So congratulations, John. You got yourself a pair of Prime Bookshelf speakers. And then the SB-1000 Pro with the subwoofer cable is going to Bob Hofstad. So congratulations to John and Paul. You guys are proud new owners of this SVS product. And that's from our team. We'll be reaching out to you.
There you go. And just a little other housekeeping note. Our last happy hour of the year is going to be in 2 weeks from now. We'll all be home. Hopefully you'll be home.
I don't know, whatever date it is, yes.
Yeah, 2 weeks from now on a Thursday. So we'll be back for a special holiday edition of the Audiophile Happy Hour. We do appreciate everyone tuning in. I saw Zimbabwe, I saw Canada, Buffalo, Minnesota, San Diego. Love you guys for tuning in. Thank you. Happy listening as always. Larry, any closing thoughts?
Buy Godzilla -1 and watch it because it sounds awesome.
There you go. There's your recommendation. Thanks all.